So my client just went from experiencing depersonalization realization 6 out of 7 days per week, and it was a very high level of intensity, to now he's experiencing depersonalization realization only 2 out of 7 days per week, and it's a very low level of intensity. And we've only been working together for about 8 weeks. So how does that happen? Why do I see stories like this all the time? It's because we're actually getting to the root of why the symptoms are there. The strategy that I use is based off of understanding that depersonalization realization are trauma coping mechanisms, and trauma is not a past event. It is a state of overwhelming stress in the body. And so if your body is constantly preparing for a threat that never comes, what do we need to do to fix that? We need to do things that communicate safety to the body. What are those things? Number one, co-regulation. Studies have shown that this is up to 45% of healing. Nothing heals people other than people. Think about how many situations that you've been in where you were completely overwhelmed, but then a safe person came into your life and gave you just enough hope to keep pressing through. And sometimes they just sat with you. Maybe they didn't even say anything, but they just sat with you and were there for you. Maybe they put their hand on your shoulder and were like, hey, it's okay. And you were able to process, you were able to feel safe enough to heal. Humans heal humans, people heal people. Number two thing that I help people with is self-regulation. This is the missing component to so many people's recovery. We worship the mind. Not saying the mind's not powerful, but until you get the body in a much better state, you're not going to be able to do much with the mind. So I teach my clients to directly release the tension, adrenaline, and emotion from the body. Number three is something called exposure, which you've probably heard of before. Whenever you avoid your triggers, that is signaling to your brain that there's danger. I teach my clients to face their triggers, but I also teach them to calm their body while you're doing it, to double the signals of safety that are being sent to the nervous system. The last thing that I teach people is neuroscience. And you may be thinking, what does neuroscience have to do with anything? It's all about the techniques. I spent about an hour this morning on my group meeting with my clients in my RISE program, just going over the neuroscience of what is going on. Why is neuroscience important? Because if you don't understand how your nervous system works, your anxious, catastrophic, irrational brain is going to fill in the blanks with all kinds of fears. This is why people fear that their symptoms are permanent, that they're going crazy and all these things. That's why I used to fear that whenever I had symptoms, is because I didn't have a basic understanding of how the brain, body, and nervous system work. So you need to get the right information to strip away shame from the symptoms, as well as strip away fear from the symptoms, and this approach works.